Elon Musk is not like the most brilliant guy. He's also an asshole, but he gives himself the opportunity. Okay, what is the full potential I can imagine that technology can possibly bring?
Welcome to the podcast behind MarTech That Matters, where we're diving into some of the conversations that we've been having earlier, inviting some of the speakers. My name is Hans. I'm a strategy director and partner at IO and your host for this session. Geert, hello. Nice having you.
Thanks.
That was energy. Loved it. Really loved it. I mean, I must say, you have a lot of people who can talk very passionate. You want passion on the stage.
Thanks.
Yeah. But maybe just let's start from the beginning, because you make the link between digital transformation and music, which sounds strange in the beginning. How did you go about, and where did you see this potential between those two worlds?
By accident. When I was head of distribution in Belfius after the crisis in 2011, people felt bad. And then we started doing good things for Music for Life. We make records. We made really record amounts. And we even started Viva for Life in Wallonia with Belfius. And then when I became Chief Digital Officer, I pushed through. First roadshow was the Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, Michael Shack, a mashup. Are You With Me with Lost Frequencies? Because I wanted to get the people with the digital.
Yeah.
And then when the publisher proposed to write a book, I really dived into the parallel between music and how musicians make music, from a riff to a live performance.
That's interesting. When you say companies can learn from musicians, because you've had it from first experience, and it's quite funny because some of the best inventions, they come out of by accident and coincidence.
A riff comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and when you relate that to companies, because we are trying to bridge the gap between where companies are today, how could they start? If you think about musicians, where do you think they could start? Is it like collaborating, just starting on their own?
Listening to each other.
Okay.
Now we're in an age of AI.
Okay.
Where do you think AI can disrupt us? What if Elon Musk would be our CEO? What if David Bowie, referring to his interview in 1999, would be in this company? What would he say? And then listen to each other. The value is into people's heads, hearts. I mean, the people are not stupid. We're just not used to speak and really listen to each other anymore. And like in music, you have to hear the first riff. Like, it's a riff, 4 notes, and then you make a song onto the riff.
Have deep conversations and
deep conversation and really listening, like in music, like the Beatles. They just listened to each other. They didn't know how to play the guitar. Eh?
No.
They were doing stuff, and then the other says, I'm in sync. Let's add this one, and then they became the biggest band in the world.
Okay, because if I look at companies, a lot of companies are of course experimenting with AI. Maybe all on their separate domain. Yeah. Everybody's trying to test a bit. That doesn't sound like a group, does it?
No,
but maybe is it wrong? Is it wrong to start there?
It's good that there is experimentation, but I think they're using old codes and old norms on new technology.
Okay.
And the question is really, like vibe coding, I discovered it last week. You're prompting into an IT program and the program comes out. It's like ChatGPT, but as an IT division.
That's also experimenting. So that's
experimenting.
That's a good
Why?
Point,
to have the conversation at a bar in between marketing IT. Okay, what is the real ambition? What is the vision that's relevant for our company? Because you can't do it all. You need to focus on 1 or 2 or 3 things, not like Elon Musk and all these companies. They only focus on 1 or 2 or 3 real ambitions. And then to get there, you need to listen to each other. And then by experimenting with the instruments, like the Beatles did with guitar, piano, with new instruments, sitar. Yeah.
But interesting, because you talk about, it starts with listening. At the same time, you talk about being a rebel. How do you combine both? Meaning that what makes marketeers good at their job? Is being the rebel or being the good listener?
It's rebel behind the vision. That should be clear. Yeah. It all starts with the vision.
Yeah, you mentioned.
Where's your ambition? Where's your company going to live or die in an AI age? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's another company moving faster with AI than you are doing. then it gets trickier
Okay.
in any industry.
But to come on that, because of course we're not all Elon Musk. We're not all David Bowie. I understand that those guys, they have a vision, they have an idea. From a very practical perspective, if you don't have the vision yet, it starts with listening.
And then, where can my company live or die the next decade?
Okay.
What
Asking yourself that question.
Yeah, why? It is proven.
Yeah.
In the Standard & Poor's index, Bell 20, CAC, every 10 years, 50% of the companies get kicked out. They're dead. And look at it, even Apple, they invented iTunes, but they didn't do streaming, Spotify. You see, Facebook didn't do mobile. They bought Instagram, they bought WhatsApp. So every 10 years, every company has a challenge. What's going to happen? How can I live or die the next decade in the new era?
Yeah.
I make cash on the old era. How not make new companies take all my... So that's where your ambition is about live or die as a company. And Elon Musk is not like the most brilliant guy. He's also an asshole. But he gives himself the opportunity... Okay, what is the full potential I can imagine that technology can possibly bring?
And then bringing all the people together.
And behind that mission. And then, why is it rebel? Because if that future is right, like we were having with mobile in Belfius, then it's fighting, and also fighting against walls that are in the company, which make it almost impossible.
Yeah, but that's interesting because you started maybe probably as the early chief digital officer. For a big company,
No division.
So how do you go about in corporates where you have silos, where you have layers? Is it being rebellious? Is that what it's all about?
First, have a mandate from the top. You need a mandate from the CEO. For me, digital goes from the top down.
Okay.
And with the vision in mind, like, this is live or die for the company.
So the CEO understood that digital was going to be massive.
This is really the next decade.
Okay.
Our company in the next decade.
Yeah.
And then with that mandate, you can build a team, but then you have to, make that collaboration with creative tension in the rehearsal rooms, and that all division can participate behind the mission, not just anywhere around. No, really to the ambition. And then for the execution, again, make the band play together.
Yeah, because just to make it clear, because I think it's quite important. So when you talk about rebels, people have an idea about rebels, like the one who see where it's going, that's talking about the vision. But also when you said they see things before the rest, but doesn't mean that they should not act as a team.
No. Like Billie Eilish is saying to the billionaires, why are you a billionaire?
Yeah.
Do you do good stuff? What are you doing with your money? To Bezos. Yeah. Okay, you're going to marry with your new wife in Venice. Who cares? You could do more great stuff. And she gave away a lot of it. See what I mean? This is the audience. Yeah. So that's what I mean with rebellion. That is, tech is huge in the States. They want to dominate the tech land. And then 10 billionaires, what are they really doing with their money? With society? With climate and whatever? And then you see these artists saying, this is not okay.
Have you always been rebellious, or did you learn it to become?
I think I was always rebel.
If I would ask your parents,
but a good rebel.
Okay.
And that's always
for the right reasons.
I was born and I was raised with some rules which were relevant in the 70s, 80s. And I felt like I need to open up. I have a creative spirit. I didn't want to be conventional. I didn't study conventional, and I didn't. So I ended up in a bank. But I got good mentors. I got 5 good bosses who really used my rebelliousship, but directed it also. Because when I would not have been directed, would have gone wrong. And the direction was the vision. Guys, we need to do this.
Yeah. And being a rebellion is also, because I think I like that when you also refer to the brand perspective. When you say, well, being rebellious is also about what sound are you making? What is the brand you're all about? Exactly. There is a lot of authenticity in there as well, isn't there?
Real authenticity,
Yeah.
Real. Because now sometimes
not
it's
the marketing
fake. The
buzzword.
It's not the why, how, what. Yeah. The real. Why? That you felt. I like the company Torfs.
Yeah.
I'm a customer. When you go in there, what Torfs did during 20 years, you feel welcome. Where do you feel welcome in a store? All these stores have become transactional. See?
Yeah, but that's interesting because Stephen talks about, well, maybe now in times of AI, service can be augmented at a level where we don't need humans anymore. So there is...
From a transactional perspective, that's right.
Okay.
Like, there will be more service, but you know that not everything is digital in life. I mean, this is, we're seeing in each other, we're looking in each other's eyes.
Sorry for that, guys.
And that is, and there's accidents in that.
Yeah.
But there's real authenticity in that, and people need it. I think that's why there's also a people's crisis in the digital world.
You coming from big corporate world where you see companies growing and scaling, how do you just avoid of playing it safe?
There is a risk.
There is a risk.
In fact, it should be the board of directors, the Raad van Bestuur, who makes that
they
should prepare for the next decade. And I'm not sure it's happening in any company, but it should start there.
It's difficult because you have your numbers, you have your
money, your cash cow. It's like a drug, It's like a drug, the cash cow.
But it's what are you protecting? Are you protecting yesterday's money?
That, but there's another company surfing on the new technology wave, being the David Bowie, being the Elon Musk. They don't have to be called Elon Musk or David Bowie. Also in enterprises, they're not as visible, but they are there. The ones who now scale with AI. And it's going to disrupt the other ones. So that's going to happen. So for me, the first role of a board of directors is the live or die of the company.
Yeah. If you would look at IO, because you've known us for many years.
Yeah, for 20 years.
Would you call us a rebel?
No, not enough. I'm very happy to see now that you're doing these presentations and these connections. This was not the culture. You come from a website builder to doing the whole value chain of digital communication. Yeah. I have always honest talk with Peter. And I'm saying the next is, I mean, you need to be the sourcing company of all the shit, the MarTech, that combination, that content operational processing. But the real question is, how do you get marketing back in the board? And also IO now should develop, okay, we're able to do all the digital stuff, digital communication, promotion in this world and in the new world. But what is really the differentiating value for a company? In product price promotion.
Not just efficiency,
not
but really
just
creating
efficiency,
value.
Communication. And that is for me also, I think, the evolution for the next decade in IO. But we're having these conversations with Peter.
And we're working really hard on that, but we'll elaborate on a specific point.
I'm watching you.
But how difficult is it when you enter a boardroom being a rebel? Because I see a lot of big companies where there is this risk aversion. Do you have an approach? How do you do it?
First, a talk with the CEO and the board. If you don't have a mandate, it's almost impossible. You're fighting against the wall. You can try with the vision, trying to describe really the good vision. And if then the CEO or the board doesn't listen, you have to change. Yeah. It's impossible.
And also,
but you will find a place in a context where that vision will be listened to. And that's then your new job, whatever.
Because last week I was talking to Chief Global Marketing Director from KPN in Holland, and also with some Chief Creative. They said it's also about explaining the narrative, where you're going. And take a lot of time to
invest. That was in the keynote. Where to go next? You have to define where to go next. And guys, that's the fun part of the jobs of marketing.
It's fun.
Not just the communication and the content management, SEO, SEA. That's
where do we go as a company? Where do we go as a brand?
Go as a company?
Where do we stand?
Being a bit David Bowie, being inspired, and these musicians do that. Where am I going to with my music? What's the sound that is needed? That I like. And I like to also refer to one thing. I mean, everybody's a rebel. Can you make music that you don't like? I don't know if you like metal or techno, whatever. You are unable to make good music that you don't like. See? So if you really like the vision, convinced, then you make this eagerness like, we want to make that music.
Yeah, makes sense.
See, it makes sense. But if you force people into making music they don't like, forget it.
There's no connection.
Forget it. With the vision, and then forget it. You can do whatever you want, and then you get boring meetings where you don't listen to each other. That's
interesting. One final question, because we've been talking about marketing cliches. Is there one marketing cliche that you would like to smash with your guitar?
Yeah, one cliche to break it down.
How many? Now, what is really on your mind where you say like, hey, marketing, this is what you really have to think about, or stop doing that?
I started my career when it was says marketing runs the business. I hated it, and I fought with it. I really fought it because I was in distribution in the bank. And I said, the bank is distribution company, so I didn't like that. But in fact, this was very good because the strategy from a product, place, price, promotion as a whole was managed by marketing. And that should come back. But marketing runs the business means in collaboration with IT, with all divisions. And that collaboration model should be installed. And then marketing will run the business again. With strategy as a whole, the ambition as a whole, but really in sync with all the divisions. Because without collaboration, you do nothing. So marketing runs the business, looking at the past and the future.
Yeah. Marketing on C-level with the buy-in from the whole management team, working, collaborating with the teams, and then protecting the money of today and thinking about the money of tomorrow.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Rock on.